Hey, what's up, you guys? This is a new feature. It's called dual. It's not new to me. Called dual capture. So it's a camera that's projecting out while my other camera's looking in my face. So if I want to show something on the Nintendo, if I want to show something, a video or something like that, and to avoid getting copyrighted, I'll play it that way. That way you can see my face and, see what I'm showing at the same time. Mr. V. Grayson, I know you said that you didn't want any acknowledgement. And I'm the same way. That's why I just made a video saying that I don't even know how to receive people being nice to me and stuff like that. Sometimes I just go off the cuff and know how to, okay, thank you, appreciate it. But other times I'm a lot more reserved and don't really look forward to people getting too excited about things if I decide to do things for people. Because I know that this is why I say the stuff. This is why I say I don't like anybody. But to not really drag on for too long. I just want to say thanks, man. I just want to say thank you. I'd feel like a scumbag if I didn't. Me and you, we share, like you said, my Gemini brother. We share a lot in common when it comes to not wanting a lot of acknowledgement as far as when we try to help people and stuff like that, because that's the way I see things. If I help you, I don't want you to, just take it and go. Just take it and go. So I just wanted to put that out there, and I want to be clear about some things before I head out to the gym. It's real nasty outside. It just got done thunderstorming here in Houston. I'm just trying to really relax, man. I'm actually proud of myself for sitting down and disciplining myself to play the game. It sounds crazy, man. A lot of people may say, well, since you must have all day to do that stuff. No, not really. It's something wrong with my brain that I just have a reaction to want to straighten up around my place and do all of these other things before I actually play the game. And then even when I play the game, my mind just starts drifting off, and I'll be in the middle of the game and then just like start looking around, just stuff that I know. When I was a kid, I used to take Ritalin, and that used to block a lot of that wandering off of the mind and stuff like that. But I've actually played what I would call my cycle, which is basketball, wrestling, and then some type of open world game of some kind. So that's normally about, maybe an hour a piece, 3 hours. And then after that, it's normally time to eat or go to the gym or do something else around the place and stuff like that. That was the biggest difference between me and my roommate, was that he could do that shit for hours, and then just get up and, abandon all hygiene problems and, or not problems, but chores and all these other things. And I just could never, I was never like that. I would wake up in the morning and know, okay, I gotta wash clothes, I gotta go do this, I gotta go do that. And that's why I said a lot of times I do run out of money, because I don't hold back from my responsibilities. Just now, about a couple hours ago, I was making some chicken noodle soup, and this has happened to me before, but not to this degree. I have spilt stuff while I was cooking. I have spilt stuff, and it normally is because of the burner. The burner doesn't have, it doesn't, the things that, hold the pot like that, like a cup, those, fell off. At one point, I got rid of this thing, and I actually had to go fish it out of the trash because I didn't think I would ever need it again. And I think I didn't even have a job, so I just got rid of it. And I actually, put it back together, but I couldn't put the, I couldn't find those pieces, and so now I basically just have to balance it on that little circle. And when I do that, you gambling, because although I did a good, a pretty decent job at finding a lot of flat boards to put on the bottom of. You see, it's flat. I mean, it's wood underneath here. I'm not on solid ground. To find a flat spot and stuff like that, because when it starts boiling, it starts doing this. The pot starts doing that. So you never know if it's just gonna, sometimes it's done that. It's done a lot of things. And I can say it's happened about maybe 4 or 5 times. And each time it just angers the hell out of me. But this time, I put the pot, man, I was cooking it, and I turned it off. So you would think it's still. And I think I'm getting some type of cyst or something on my eye. Again, being around, in the humidity and stuff like that, man, you get a lot of weird things, as far as just being in constant humidity, and the bacteria and all of that stuff. It's important to keep the place clean, man, because again, I just got over some type of sickness. It might have been because of the weather. I don't know. But, my eye is droopy because it's starting to get swollen. But, the hell was I talking about? So I turned the pot off, and I'm letting it just sit there. And you guys, sure enough, the pot tips over. After turning that burner off for about 35 seconds, maybe a minute, the pot tips over and burns the living shit out of my leg. Look at this. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if you can see that. Ouch. I don't know if you can see that. You see how that skin is all wrinkly like that? You see all of that right there? All of that shit. All of that shit is probably gonna fall off when I start working out and start sweating. And then I bathe, that skin's probably gonna just fall off and just show all the pus and all that shit. But yeah, man, I don't know what degree burns that was. It ain't third, maybe it ain't second. It's probably like a 1.5 degree burn. That hurt. Surprisingly, I found some type of way to sleep it off, and now again it hurts. But I mean, yeah. So that happened. I had to clean it all up, but then again, like I said, those are what I would call. I don't put myself in a lot of situations where I'm making my life harder. These are things that kind of, what I would say, they just happen to just keep me on my toes. Because again, the pot not even boiling. And for that hole to fall over like that, it got all under my blanket. I got a blanket out here that I had to snatch to roll the whole thing up, throw it outside. I had to get up with leg hurting and all, man. Start cleaning immediately. Start spraying bleach. I went through a whole roll of toilet paper. Not toilet paper, paper towels. Went through a whole roll of paper towels and had to clean all of that up. Again, that's what I would say. That's why I said that shit cost me resources, money, time. And I'm just so angry and upset. Like, what the hell, man? So, had to then, throw all that away. But now I got pants in here with chicken noodle soup juices on them, and a lot of other stuff that I have to maintain that. I have to take care of that. And that's why I said donations and all that type of stuff, man, that shit go a long way. It go a long way because I don't pay car notes and rent and all of this stuff, but all of these other things, they add up just damn near about to a car note. As far as my meds, my food, phone bill, gym membership, that stuff adds up. And that's why I try to. I'm very. I get disappointed in myself when I can't just stay put and play the game, chill, relax, get my rest, do my treatment where I take this and roll on my back, my neck, my everything. I call that treatment. These knots in the back of my head, from the tension of maybe doing shoulder exercises, trap exercises and stuff. Get up, clean up around the place. By that time, I done killed 3-4 hours and then come back, play the game a little bit. But I try not to spend so much money every day. I've already told myself, I damn near spend $25, $30 a day. And I'm like, dog, you gotta chill, man. You gotta chill. Times where you think, I'm finna run out of my weed, bro, you got a day or two, maybe a day and a half worth. You don't always gotta go get, you don't always have to have like a doomsday prepper mentality. Because I don't go out and get some 5-star meal. I don't get 5-star weed. I don't get 5-star nothing. I'm very conservative. But it's the amount and the consumption. And just the lack of, like, for example, if I got to get off work and go to CVS for anything, that's going to piss me off because I know at Walmart, I'm paying $2.52 for my sinus pills, but at CVS, that's $5.99. One of the biggest ones is the digestive pills. These here, I've shown these before. Okay? One of these at CVS, just one, is $13 for one. Walmart, for a pack of 42, that's 3 bottles, 42 total. They went from $20 to $15 to $10. So when I gotta go to CVS, like let's say oh well, I'm gonna try to save some money. I don't want to go to Walmart before work. I don't want to, spend this, blah 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 blah. And then let's just say I go to work and I have an upset stomach or something, from taking too many meds or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, damn. By the time I get off work, Walmart's closed, and I don't want to suffer all night long with the discomfort. So what happens? Now I have to go to CVS and spend double of what I can get in a couple. And so I tell myself, like, fuck it. We're just going to go home. We're going to tough it out for a couple hours because we already know I go to bed at 6, 7 in the morning sometime. So I'm like, all right, next thing you know, I can go to Walmart. I can get it out the way and save myself some money. When I gamble like that, it's so that I can save money because CVS is just way too high. So that's something that I'm working on in my personal life, so that I can come out of this situation, of living out here outside. But I want to take a moment to kind of make it clear about some things about myself for people who are subscribed or whatever, what type of person I am. I say a lot of things that in my own life people find distasteful. People think I'm not serious about my takes on things and stuff like that. So here's my takes, and I'm doing this at random. I don't have any notes or anything like that. Probably should, but I don't. When I say that I don't like certain sayings like cap, facts, we already know where I'm going with this, right? I've got to get to the bag and all of this stuff. I don't like that shit, because it seems like, to me, my mind, I believe I have a old soul, you know. I believe I've probably been here in a past life, or whatever those cases may be. And I get turned off the fact that a lot of nothing is everything is overused. You know what I'm saying? To the point where there's no more originality in nothing. So when I hear people like, yeah, man, yeah, bro, facts. I'm like, it's like it's been installed in there. It's like almost they don't even know they saying, like, put it this way, like the word bro. Everybody say bro, chill, man. Hey, bro, man, bro. You know, it's one of them things, like, maybe in the 80s or something like that, it wasn't said as much. So that's my problem when I hear people saying stuff like that part. Because it just seems, and I see like, well, people don't know how to talk already. And this type of, when I hear people say glazing, all that type of shit, I'm like, it probably wouldn't annoy me if everybody didn't say it. My view on, my personal life, as far as how I ended up in this situation, do I blame anybody for where I've been? No. Because I knew in school that I was a kid that actually, there were consequences in my household when you didn't follow the rules. And following the rules mean, even if you going to school and you failing and all of that, they gonna assume that you just going up there not giving a fuck. And I mean, they didn't have to worry about that with my other brothers, but with me, I knew, like, okay, I can't afford to go back home if they just keep on having to say the same shit, because eventually, bro, I'm gonna get an ass whooping. So being a kid that tried but just couldn't achieve it, that put me in a special category for God to say, all right, bro, I know that you're trying, but you just having a hard time convincing other people that you're trying. And so that put me on a path of giving life and people the benefit of the doubt, like they just don't know. So that put me in a position where I never really, like, when most people try to be very, for example, at work, when Madison says stuff like, I already don't like the new manager. You know how many times she said that? 3 times already. And all 3 times I'll tell her, just naturally, just give her a chance. She knew, give her a chance. Just give her a chance. Because I've never been built, or I've not been raised in an environment where people are going to just trumpet what I'm saying. Because they're going to be like, hold on, wait a minute, bro. Why are you saying this, but your grades look like this? So I never had the luxury of, or I wouldn't even say, look, the crutch of everybody just agreeing with me. So when I look at my life, I don't blame anybody for if they have put me out of their house, because I know, I don't blame anybody for this. I don't. I look at all of this as my life has been prescripted, and whatever the point of this is, and I really do think that this is the point where this is going to give me the foundation to say I built everything I got by myself. No roommate, no mom, no dad when it comes to money. And that's going to give me the nerve as a man to tell a woman or anybody, I built all of this. None of this was given to me. None of this is from a partnership. I had to learn what to buy, what to not buy. I had to learn how to get around my headaches, take certain sacrifices, not buying certain things, not going certain places. Those are things that I had to do to say, you know what, bro? I want to come out of this. And I don't want to have to live with nobody, go to no shelter or anything like that. So, no, I don't blame anybody for where I'm at all. When I say I don't like nobody, I've said this before. I say that because everybody got the potential to do something every day at any point in time to piss me off. Okay? If Caesar would have gave me a birthday gift and I'm like, man, you a cool ass nigga, bro. You alright. He could do something the next day to make me say, bro, you disgust me, nigga. Like, that's some low-level, dumbass shit you just said or did. So I put that on everybody. My mama, my daddy, my brothers, my son, I don't care who you are. That keeps me emotionally safe from one day telling you, yo, you notice I notice your inconsistency, right? That you kind of like a fraud, right? That everything you do, for example, the guy that said, Hashem at work, the one that was like, look, I can't promise you that I can, buy you a generator, but I'm gonna see what I can do, right? You know why what he said? He said, because, hey, look, I ain't making no problem. He said, but look, that's gonna be good for me. You understand? And I'm like, yeah, I get you. I understand. He's like, yeah, that's gonna be good for me, that I can help you. And I'm like, says who? Says who? But see, you one of these Quran reading niggas that y'all really think like if I give a nigga $1, I'm getting $100 tomorrow, and whatever. Like, y'all don't understand spirituality like that. The fact that you might be able to carry a boulder up a damn mountain all by yourself don't mean you're gonna get anything for it. That's one of the ways of God, is that I don't give a fuck what deeds you think you have done. That's what you're supposed to do. In your finite time on this planet, you might have to get your ass rained on and nobody's stopping to give you a ride. Or you might just pass that person up and didn't think 2 times about it, and the person next to you like, man, you a mean ass person. You like, nigga, then fuck you then. Why don't you go get you a car? Boy, I'm looking at all this damn water that it got in this tent. Lord have mercy. Oh my gosh. But yeah, man, that's how I stand. That's where I stand on my view on everybody. Everybody. I think it's fair. I think it's wise and mature to for me to look at things like that. Because I don't like nobody. If I ever have a girlfriend and she say, "Was that include me?" Yes, you. Yeah, you too. Maybe when I'm in my later 50s and 60s, I may say, I like you a little bit. You're all right. But as far as being in my right now and in the next 10, 15 years, even my girl gonna get that same treatment. I don't like nobody, okay? Now, you're gonna have to be mature enough to see through that and say, but he's a good person, he's a good man. He's an honest man, he's a hard-working man. He's sensitive. He's very kind. Because I am. I have another saying. I'm the meanest, nicest person you'll ever meet. I'm the meanest, nicest person you'll ever meet. This is why me and my roommate back then, this is why we didn't get along a lot when it came to me going on a lot of my rants, because I'm somebody that when I'm talking, if it offends you, I don't care. And I'm not a cold-hearted person at all. I can be cold under the right circumstances, but I'm not a naturally cold-hearted person. I'm very empathetic and understanding and forgiving. Very. When I'm not responding to things the way I think I should, my heart lets me know. instantly. I told y'all in some videos, like I have to choose to do wrong. It's not in me to just do wrong naturally. I have to choose to. So, my view on the world, just how I see everything. Am I a person that believes in conspiracy theories? Yeah. Am I a person that believes in racism? No. See, Charles, you're black. You don't believe in no. I believe in a prejudice. I believe in a power structure that if you are the dominant race in business, in whatever the fucking case it may be, this is why the NBA is dominated by Negroes, because we have not found only but a handful of white dudes that have the style, the pizzazz, the finesse, the strength, the athletic ability that Negroes have. So it would be asinine for somebody to say, yeah, man, white folk run the NBA, when we know that's not the case. So, I mean, we see it if you go on a pickup game, right? You're more prone to pick other black guys other than a white dude. Why? Because you've seen through your life, black people are better at this thing, right? So I don't believe that if I want to go work somewhere, or even in the case of like certain legal cases, it's a test of, first of all, are you doing anything to put yourself in the crosshairs to receive racism? Okay. Are you sagging your pants? Okay. Do you have dreadlocks? Do you speak in a way that you know is ignorant as hell, but it's how the culture speaks, so you use words like, yeah, man, that nigga cap, bro. That nigga cap, fam. It's another one, fam. Like, whatever. But are you loud and boisterous about, you get where I'm going? So it's the same thing. I believe if blacks were in the same position, if let's just say we were in another universe, blacks would do the same thing. Blacks would do the same thing, and they would say, well, if you don't like it, do something about it. And that's where my father, when he taught me that, if there's no need to share this type of hatred that other people share when it ain't never had shit to do with you. You never had to pick cotton. Nobody ever put a whip to your ass. Nobody ever said, Negro, go to the back. Nobody ever told you, you can't come in here because you black. Nobody ever told you, CJ, you can't drink at that water fountain because you black. So all of that, even though he's somebody who's a pastor and will say, yeah, man, there's a such thing called racism, I don't believe in it. I don't. I believe that people will judge you based off of what they've seen in their life. That's why I don't get mad at a lot of white folk when I'm like, bro, it's probably 10 niggas before me that just did stupid shit that made white folks say, man, why y'all do dumb shit like that? That's just, am I a male chauvinist and all of these dumbass sayings and stuff? Like, do I think women are inferior to men? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Shout out to Charleston White. He just said something that I've said in my own life. It's like, all women are the same, meaning how they were created. They all the same, but they don't all act the same. And you just gotta be intelligent and mature enough to understand what I just said. All women are the same, but they don't act the same. Meaning that they all are. What I learned in my life is that they are the equivalent of children. So thus you have to be steps ahead of them as a man. You have to be very patient with them. They're gonna want things now that they're not gonna want later. They're going to gripe about things now that they're not going to gripe about later. Okay? Certain things with the way they look, certain feelings that they have, certain things that they tell you, and they don't even want your response. They just want to tell you. These are things that the same thing with children. You have to make a child, let them know that they are heard. If a child telling you something and you just kind of like, oh man, go sit down somewhere, go, they're gonna feel like, well, damn, when I'm 8, 9, 10, 11 years old and I really did have a bad day, well, he ain't gonna listen to me. Or if I tell him, man, all they gonna try to do is beat me over the head with some shit. So with women, it's the same thing. As disrespectful and nasty as they can get, and as they are, especially in the black community, it is upon you as a man to understand that, first of all, if it came down to anything physical, there's probably 1 out of 1,000 women that can actually whoop a man's ass. Other than that, physically, you can't touch me. All right, verbal. Outside of my own life, I can't speak for a lot of other dudes because I know a lot of other dudes are stupid and they don't know shit. So when it comes to this talking game, you cannot out-talk me. That's not gonna happen. When I say out-talk, I mean solution-based talk, not conversation that's baseless. Solution-oriented conversation, substance-oriented conversation, high frequency. Once they reach a point where a woman does what she would do, what we call submit. This is later on in life where she knows financially, materially, verbally, spiritually, emotionally, so on and so forth, she cannot match you. So you become a driving force for her. This is where in a marriage, your mother starts to act like your dad. She takes on his jokes. She starts to be able to finish his sentences. She will be able to explain to the children, your dad loves you. He's not being mean. He loves you. This is just the way he explains it. Trust me, I know. Your dad's not mean to me. I wouldn't be with him if he was mean as mean as you say he is. Son or daughter, your dad is very sweet. Okay? So that's kind of my personality. And my view on women. Do I think women are stupid? No. Do I think women should be in combat sports? Hell no. I don't ever like to see women fight. I just don't. You don't even have the same reaction as a man when you dunk a ball. You don't have the same reaction as a man when you knock a nigga out. I don't care who you are. Ronda Rousey, I don't like to see that type of junk. I don't. I absolutely don't. I hated the fact that WWE have made women's tag titles, women's the real women's woman title, the diva women alpha title. Shut the hell up. Go put on some drawers and a bra and I'm not saying, because I used to hate that as a kid. As a kid, I used to hate that shit when they used to have these soft porn things and shit, what you call them, segments on wrestling. I hated that shit. I liked a basic Trish Stratus, Mickie James, Lita. I like just a basic women's wrestling match, period. Because I wasn't a pervert like that. I didn't care to see naked ass women and stuff like that. If y'all ain't fucking, I don't see it. So, when it comes to, no, I don't think women should be in charge of anything unless it's their own beauty supply, beauty shop, shit like that, because women are emotional. If you are a woman in charge of something, you need to be probably in your early 50s and upward. Like Miss Janet at work. Miss Janet has moments of female emotional reactions. But she's so up in age where she knows, like, okay, I need to dial it down a little bit. This is why I ain't got no man. People can kind of, she starts to be able to see herself. And this is when the looks and all of that go away. Now you worried about how do people perceive me. So that's why I told Janet, Africa is the problem. She's young. She thinks she know it all. So on and so forth. Well, Charles, it's you doing this, you're doing. I'm like, nigga, I'm not doing shit to this girl. And now with her quitting on you, you saw what I saw. Every time Caesar and all them niggas come around me, talking about Janet getting on my nerve, Janet doing this. Ask me this. You think them niggas still do that to this day? Nope. Because I kept it consistent. I kept saying, bro, Janet don't bother me like that. She just don't. She remind me of one of them Caucasian teachers in school, in elementary, that just showed me a lot of mercy and a lot. They were very compassionate toward me, and yeah, they treated me different for some reason. Like, I didn't ask to be different or anything like that. These teachers just treated me like this. So it's the same thing. I'm like, why y'all complaining about Janet, bro? Like, Janet don't even, like, she really does not pop up on my radar when she starts talking. Every now and again, she may say something stupid. Like, one time I didn't say anything all shift. I was there for like 3 hours. Caesar came into work, and then I told him, I was like, so I watched that movie, South Central, and she was like, guys, hurry up. Why are my orders on red? I was like, dude, I have literally not said anything all day. This nigga come into work, and I want to tell him about something, and you like, hey, stop that talking. The hell? No. I don't roll like that. So at that point, I was like, all right, if you make me have to treat you like that, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna know you did something that you shouldn't have did. So it be moments like that, but 9 times out of 10, 95% of the time, I'm not even worried about what Janet is saying. You know, so that's you know, am I a Christian? I believe I'm one of the most authentic versions of what a real Christian is. But you use profanity. I don't give a fuck. The profanity that I use, it come from the heart. It's because I'm genuinely invested in what I'm saying. I'm emotionally triggered. I'm really disgusted. Turned off by it. I think it's icky. You know, people that are spiritual, we normally use terms like that because it makes you feel sick. Or when you see stupid shit, you like, oh, stop doing that. Like, it does make you uncomfortable, itchy, you know? So, I believe that I'm the most authentic version of a Christian. One of, you know, not obviously, you know, but, you know, this is just me as far as the way I live. I didn't want this, bro. I would have never in my wildest imagination thought I'd be living like this. I don't have to, but I know that this causes the least amount of stress. Okay, and it is teaching me a lot of times when I have like the accident with this burn, the rage that I experienced at that moment was like, I would have not wanted to be around anybody else doing that. You know, being out here has given me an opportunity. It is, you know, like they say in the Bible, I'm being dealt with by God by myself. No girlfriend to go to, no friend's house to pull up to. And I really do think everything I go through on a daily basis is a representation of what Jesus went through. And it is when you try to enlighten people about anything, you're going to be met with, because people don't want to change. I tell y'all about Caesar. Caesar is somebody he'll keep, well, how do you know you wasn't there? Man, we already know that's how Madison is, though. But then when I have to break it down, like, bro, that doesn't excuse her action. She's a bully. Yeah, she is like a little bully, though. I know. So stop laughing at it. But you're going to laugh anyway. You're going to do what you're going to do because you're spineless. So, and this is that passive nature of what somebody who lived with a mama. That's that. You know, you don't really want that harsh reality put forth to your face of, you know, whatever. I'm coming up on 40 minutes, y'all. I'm gonna upload this, y'all. Let me know what y'all think about anything about what I said. I got a long way to go, man. You know, I can't get it all in 40 minutes, but that's just some basic things. Do I believe in God? Yeah. Do I believe in the devil? Yeah. Do I believe the earth is flat? Fuck no. How do we get the seasons then? It make most sense to be doing this in a circle back and forth from a hot ball than to just be sitting like this and then the sun doing this and whatever. No, I don't believe the earth is flat. Do I believe black people are the original people on the planet? No. My understanding of black people is the basic understanding that there's something special about black folk, but we don't notice it until it's too late. The singing, the dancing, the ball playing, all of these different things. People have exploited us for these talents, and I do believe that there is a spiritual connection between black people and ancestry. I do believe that with other races. I do. I believe that if you are able to tap into the spirit realm, that you can almost enhance who you are spiritually based off of your genetics, basically bringing your ancestors through your genetics, and you start to exhibit some of their behaviors. That's why I said I feel like I've been here already. I feel like I've already lived my life, and now I'm just basically sitting back, living another one, watching the other one still go. There's nothing on the planet that I would say I'm attached to the point where I'm afraid of death. If anything, I would say I would cry because I've underachieved materially in life. I've underachieved. I've never got a chance to drive my own car across the country. I've never got a chance to have a wife say he's not as mean as you think he is. I've never had those moments in my life where I say, man, I would have never thought I'd be here. So dying to me would just be like, man, I really didn't do what I thought I could have done in my life. So I gotta wrap it up, y'all. I gotta get started on some other things, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I got my links all down in the description for Facebook, Instagram, GoFundMe, Cash App. If y'all can afford to. If you got words of wisdom, advice, links to certain things that might help me or whatever, y'all let me know, man. I'm out.